Hey everybody, it's Mike Klijanowicz coming to you from my office here at Cummings and Company Realtors in Perry Hall in Baltimore County, Maryland. And today I wanted to come and share a huge announcement with you. A lot of you are aware that I have recently written a couple of books in like not that much time. And this was done with the help of artificial intelligence as well as help with the Holy Spirit, because each one of these books has an important message that needs to go out to a important audience, and they're all for different kinds of audiences. Um, I originally thought maybe I'll publish these books and run a whole bunch of Facebook ads and just sell them myself and keep the money and whatever. And then I thought, that's not what Jesus would do if Jesus was writing books. He would give the books out to everybody for free. So that's what I'm going to do for a limited period of time. For 5 days, I'm going to give these books out for free to anyone and everyone anywhere on the entire planet that wants to download them. All you have to do is go to the link that's in this YouTube description for the video and click on that. It'll take you to my author page on Amazon. And from May 17th through May 21st, all of my books, these three books, are going to be available for free. Now, there is another book I wrote that is not available for free, and that's because I'm not allowed to market it for free because I have a publishing contract with the publisher who I hired to do my first book. But because I self-published these other three books, it allows me the flexibility to be able to offer these for free for a limited period of time through a partnership with Amazon KDP Select program for authors. Um, if you're an author, Amazon is an awesome platform for you to be able to use to promote your books, run promotions and specials and all kinds of different things. Even if you're not an author and you thought of writing a book, I highly encourage you to, start using some artificial intelligence, whatever platform you want or you like. If you have something that it inspires you, or you have a passion that you want the world to know about, and you think that you can't write a book, I'm here to tell you can write a book, and you should write a book. You should share your passions with the world. That's what I did. That's what these books are represent. That's what they're about. These are all my ideas that I use to upload and type a nice, huge description about the project and what I wanted to do into artificial intelligence. I happen to use Chat GPT, and it helped me put these books together to help thousands upon thousands of people who want to read them. And that's why I want to provide this stuff for free, at least for this 5 day period, which is the maximum period, by the way, that I'm allowed to offer them for free. I think I get a couple of 5 day periods in a 90-day period. So my goal is to have a couple of these periods where they're free, but I don't know exactly how that works. So as of now, the only one I have set is for May 17th to May 21st. You can download these. Now, why am I doing this, right? Like, people are probably thinking, this guy's nuts. He spends all his time, he writes these books, and then he's just going to give them out for free. Why would he do that? Well, I didn't write these books to get rich, and quite frankly, I don't know if I really want to get rich, because mo money, mo problems. You know what I'm saying? I want to make enough money to live a nice life and have time to spend with my wife and kids and raise my family with good values and, just enjoy myself. My goal of achieving success for me is basically to achieve complete peace and happiness in my life with joy. And, it will give me no better joy than to have a bunch of people, download these books and read them and change their lives, man. My joy is going to come when I hear from people who take their time, download these books and read them and say, man, this really impacted my life and changed my life and inspired me to write my own book or give up drugs and alcohol or go find God and walk with him or go back to church or get into a recovery program or elevate my real estate game to a level that I never thought was possible and gave me the encouragement to maybe leave the team that I was part of because now I have the confidence that I can do this on my own and I can keep my money for myself and use that to help other people too. I mean that's really the biggest goal of this. It's not about being on a bestseller list. It's not about the royalties and the money and all that. It's really about soul work, transformation, and getting um, the book into the right hands of the right people at the right time. And I really believe that, God is going to help me do that with his own algorithm and some ads that I'm running. I'm actually, not only am I giving the book away, I'm running some paid Facebook ads as a way to give back, to the people of the world and try to help encourage people. So, and this is important too. I made some notes here to kind of talk about, Jesus didn't sell his parables that he talked about. He gave them all away. And I'm just trying to follow that example, at least for this short period of time, this 5-day period, to reach as many people as I possibly can. And that's why I'm doing this. So, quick breakdown of each book, just so you guys are aware of the books. So the first book I ever wrote was this book, and this is available for purchase if anybody wants to purchase it. This is the one I have the publishing contract with my publisher, so I can't just give these away for nothing. I do have an audio book, the version that I can give away. At different events and things like that, I do kind of give the audio book out. And I am known to also give this book out and purchase copies for myself. Yes, I actually have to purchase the copies. So any copies I give out in my own pocket is my own cost that I'm doing. My wife thinks I'm crazy for giving these books out and paying this money. She's like, I don't even want to know how much money you're spending on this stuff. But, the thing is this is a kingdom project. This is, a project to bring people back to God and Jesus Christ. And that is what my book is about. It's about my own personal spiritual journey and awakening and everything I had to go through to completely change and become a new person and transform my life. And it hopefully will inspire other people to transform their lives. That's my hope. So after that book, the next book I wrote, which I kind of, again, I prayed about all this stuff. These were all just ideas that God literally just like downloaded into my head. And over the course of about maybe 2 weeks, I wrote 3 more books, with the help of artificial intelligence as well. The first book is called AI for Artificial Intelligence, Gift from God or Tool of Evil. Now, this book asks the big question, is AI a blessing from God or is it a weapon of the enemy, right? And it explores those, questions in a much deeper level. And, the spoiler alert to this is, the answer is really it depends who's using the tool, right? Because there's good people out in the world and there's evil people out in the world. So evil people are going to use it for evil stuff and good people are going to use it for good stuff. So I explore in this book spiritual warfare, what it is. A lot of people are not aware of what spiritual warfare is, but it's very real. It happens every single day to all of us. It talks about deception, and how believers in Jesus can shine their Holy Spirit lights that they have in this digital age by using artificial intelligence to take their spiritual connectedness or Christ consciousness to the next level by having a spiritual partner in their journey by using AI that way. And it dives a little deeper than that too, and even shows pastors and ministers and preachers and priests and clergy and whoever, how they can use artificial intelligence to grow their congregations and followings and everything to bigger than they've ever dreamed possible with people. So, I use it to generate for things like I had a Bible study this morning in my house. And this week I decided to just let AI decide on what the book was going to be and what chapter we were going to read. And I had it design discussion questions to lead the discussion after we read the chapter. And it really turned out to be a great, fruitful conversation with all of us that attended today. And it was fantastic. And probably one of the best ones that we've ever done. And it was nice to say that it was completely generated by AI. So this is just one example of how church leaders and spiritual leaders can use AI to, lead a group discussion about a particular topic or interpret scripture or interpret the word that might be complicated, because it's intimidating to just tell somebody, well, go pick up a Bible and start reading it. Like, okay, where do I start? Like, it's a lot to read. I mean, it's a lot of pages. So that book kind of goes over that. The next book, which I'm honestly hoping is really going to like impact this entire world here. Again, it's kind of about my journey, my specifically my substance abuse and mental health journey that I went through, my struggles with substance abuse. I am recovering, and I'll be recovering, for the rest of my life. And that's why I have a big heart that goes out to people who are in recovery because it's so hard to deal with substance abuse. And when you get deep into it and you feel like you don't have anybody you can talk to, because like when you finally want to make a change and you want to stop, the devil's telling you, no, 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 just keep doing it, it's not a problem, you're doing fine, whatever. He's like encouraging you to do it. And you want to stop, and you get to the point where you're like, enough is enough. Maybe something really bad happened, maybe you got in an accident, maybe you got a DUI or DWI or something like that, which I didn't, thank God. And but I know a lot of people in my Celebrate Recovery groups that I go to that have had those things happen to them. I mean, some of them have had liver transplants because they drank so much alcohol it completely shot their liver out. And it's great to be around those people and try to hear encouraging words and share encouraging words and help each other out, through our experiences. And I kind of was thinking about, a whole brand new recovery program with using artificial intelligence, which is kind of one of my other projects that I'm kind of putting on the table for now, which I'm going to come back to later once I can figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with all these books. But this book is called AI: The Perfect Drug. And initially I was going to name it AI: Your New Addiction, but I decided to name it AI: The Perfect Drug because I was driving home from a settlement, and God put Nine Inch Nails on lithium on XM radio, and I heard The Perfect Drug on the radio, and I was jamming out to it, and I'm like, because I love Nine Inch Nails, I love all that '90s stuff, and mid '90s rock, and I love '80s stuff, all kinds of stuff, but not so much a lot of the newer stuff, other than Christian stuff that's come out, some stuff that maybe like Jelly Roll has done some really cool stuff. Um, I feel kind of connected to him through his music, and I'm fat too. So, he's big guy, I'm big guy. I'm just saying, we can relate. We both had substance stuff going on, and he's got a heart for people in recovery too. So, maybe that's why I'm drawn to him. I don't know why, but I do find myself liking his music too. And um, so, anyway, the whole book is really about recovery. And, I wanted to write it for everybody. Like everybody on the planet is struggling with something. We have a saying in Celebrate Recovery that if you're not in recovery, then you're in denial. And we say that Celebrate Recovery is for people who are going through hurts or bad habits or hang-ups in their life, which can really be anything from substance abuse problems, alcohol, drugs, can be anxiety, can be anger issues, can be, depression, thoughts of suicide, hurting yourself, having low self esteem, purity issues with sex addictions and pornography addictions and all kinds of stuff, man. Like everybody's got something, whether you want to admit it or not. Like none of us are perfect. I was addicted to money too. Like money was one of my things, and I was addicted to like the fancy suits with my signature on the sleeve, and I still see people today that are addicted to that. And it's an addiction. It's an addiction. It's a sickness, and of vanity issues and ego stuff and worried about my own self pride and what are people going to think of me and all that. And I just don't really care what people think of me anymore because all I really care about is what God thinks of me. And I know that what I'm doing is what He wants me to be doing, which is why I'm giving these books away and why I'm doing this and putting this out there for everybody, to just try to help people. But this book was very personal for me. It's kind of a dig at the mental health and um, really the health industry as we know it. It is an industry, it is a business. Healthcare is a business, and it is a big business. Pharmaceutical companies, the CVS's on every corner, and Walgreens, and all these drugstores, and mental health doctors that need you prescribed medication and pills and stuff. So you got to keep coming and seeing them forever and ever and ever. And you're never cured because they just treat the symptom instead of the disease. And a lot of people, instead of having mental health problems, what they really have is they have a spiritual problem or deficiency where they're not close enough to God. And I learned that, the closer I got to God, my problems just kind of went away. And, I don't have what they say I had. And, I know what happens when you go into a psychiatric facility and they take all your personal stuff from you and treat you like you're an inmate in prison and take your shoelaces and cut all the strings out of your clothes and hoods off your sweatshirts and everything, man. I know what it's like. And then they just pump you full of pills and medications and try to stabilize you and then get you into their drug program where they get you hooked on lithium and Depakote and all their little psychoactive drugs that they like to use. And, you can't just wean yourself off of this stuff. And, then it has side effects like weight gain. I gained 20 pounds a year for 5 years straight being in this stuff. So this is like my dig back at the doctors and the industry that misdiagnosed me and basically abused me, mentally, and destroyed my life, and made me almost want to kill myself because of my lack of self worth and everything. So this book is to empower people to take the power back and say, you know what, you doctors, I might be able to fix myself. And if I use the right tool and I use artificial intelligence to bring me closer to God, right? Artificial intelligence not is not God. I was working on flyers today to take with me to Miami, and it had to generate the same image like 20 times, and it kept messing up what it said on it. And I'm doing a Facebook ad, and the images, there's some stuff on the title of the page that's messed up, and it's because it's not perfect. AI is not perfect, not yet, but it's not perfect. And the only thing in life that's perfect is God, right? Like that is the message. So, if you want to be perfect, then you got to be like God and you got to be like Jesus and you got to try to live as he did and do as he did and treat people the way he treated people. Again, another reason for giving these books out. This is what, if Jesus wrote these books, this is what he would do. He would let people have them and improve themselves and improve their lives. That's what I'm doing. So really, this book is personal. This book is for anyone who is battling any kind of addiction, anxiety, depression, or just feeling numb in this modern world, which is probably 9 out of 10 Americans. And I'm sure, in the whole world, I'm sure it's 9 out of 10 humans. It's not just Americans. This is Canadians. This is Australians. This is people in the islands. This is people in Africa. This is, people in China. People all over the place are struggling, man. And that's what I mean. Like this book has the potential to impact really the world, man, if I have it translated into the right languages and everything. So it's just a tool, man. This is a tool. Just like I talked about in the first book, it's a tool, and if you use it the right way, you can really change your entire life, man. You can have your own coach available to you 24/7. It can be your sponsor, it can be your fitness instructor, it can be your financial advisor, it can teach you how to set up a nonprofit, it can teach you anything you want it to teach you in like a matter of minutes instead of paying $28,000 to go to some fancy business school to get some executive degree. You have it in your pocket. You just need to know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what the book is about. It's about giving us the power that we have at our disposal. And if we use it the right way, we can really solve a lot of our problems, especially if you use it to bring you closer to God, right? So that's AI, the perfect drug, right? Because it is. It's the perfect drug. If you use it the right way, it will bring you closer to God. So, and then, the third book, which I'm really actually excited about too. And initially I was like, I want everybody to buy my book because they're going to make me rich and all that stuff. And I thought that for like 2 minutes. And then I'm like, again, God wouldn't want me to do that way either and worry about the money. So, I wrote this book specifically for real estate agents in the real estate industry, who are maybe struggling right now. They might be really good agents. They might have been really good agents back in the day, and they just don't have a clue as to what to do now because the market's changing and we're hearing all this doom and gloom and a recession's coming and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I mean, so many agents have been in the business as long as me or longer know that things change all the time and you just got to be ready and ride the change, man. Like, I mean, we had short sales. What happened? You became a short sale expert, So, like, you just got to learn new stuff to stay relevant. And, if you use AI as a real estate agent, it's not going to be a if. It's going to be agents who use AI and then agents who leave the business. I mean, there's really no in between because there's so much stuff you can do and it can save you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. I mean, Just think about how much money agents take and throw away on contact management systems. ChatGPT can do that. Real estate coaches, like, I'm not even going to name names because I don't want them coming at me and getting mad at me, but everybody knows who the coaches are if you're in real estate. You don't need them anymore because you got your own AI coach and it's free and it's available at 2 o'clock in the morning. It'll generate letters. It'll generate pop by ideas. It'll give you video ideas. It'll give you Facebook posts. It'll give you anything you want it to give you, and then more than that. So if you're an agent, why are you not using this to be more creative? All this is a tool to allow us to use our God given creativity that we need to tap into and use it to become creative. I mean, there's so many ways you can use it. I'm a big, like, write down on a piece of paper as leads come in because I don't really have a CRM. I just kind of wing it, and when you do that, you run the risk of forgetting stuff. But now I wing it. I have faith, and God always reminds me when I need to make a phone call. I mean, that's kind of like my hidden secret now. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But guess who just reminded me? God just reminded me. So, I don't forget really a lot of stuff at all anymore. I get a lot of things accomplished. But what I still do to just back up my own brain, like if I'm in the middle of stuff, which I always am, writing these books and doing everything else, a lead comes in and I don't have a pen or paper to write with because my desk has stuff all over it. I mean, if you see my office, it's an absolute disaster, but that's how I function. I function in chaos. And I think we all do to some degree because that's really what the world is that we live in, is chaos. So we all really function in chaos. And, you know, I can use it and I can say, I can literally type in there, as I get a lead call that comes in, I can say, talk to Brandon. He's got a house in Dundalk that he wants to sell. He's not sure if he wants to buy before he sells. I'm going to give him the such and such loan officer I referred him to. If I don't hear from him by Wednesday, please remind me to call him. And as next Wednesday comes up, I talk to ChatGPT. It'll be, did you call Brandon? It'll like prompt you and remind you to do stuff and keep track of everything for you. So, like, bye bye to everything as we know it, right? Like, why do you need a CRM? Why do you need a coach? Why do you need a team? Why do you need to be on a real estate team? I know a lot of team leaders aren't going to like me saying this, but you agents who think that, I'm not smart enough, I can't do this on my own, I need them to coach me, I need them to make me feel good about myself, I need them to give me scripts to role play with, I need them to give me structure, I need them to give me everything. No, you don't, because you have ChatGPT. ChatGPT can do everything for you that your team leader can do. And the difference is ChatGPT is not going to take 60% of your commission or more, right? Let's just be honest. So you should be able to get the confidence that you need to say, thanks for everything, but I'm going to do this on my own now, right? I mean, like, how big of a step is that? It's like freeing the slaves from the bondage that they've been in and under. And again, this is going to piss a lot of people off. These team leaders, man, when their agents find out about this book and they find out that they don't need to be on a team anymore because they can do their own team if they want to do a team. I mean, isn't that everybody's goal, to be the one calling the shots? I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I'll throw something out here just so they know what I say and why I beat them every single time I go on listing appointments. When I compete against the biggest team in the world, I say, well, okay, well, I'm competing with such and such team. Well, did the team leader actually come to your house to meet with you? Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, well, he sent one of his assistants, right? And I said, did you ever think that There's a reason why that agent is an assistant and not the team leader. You know, can they not do the job on their own? They need to report to somebody else. Because, like with me, I do the job on my own. I don't need to report to anybody else. So, wouldn't you rather just work with the guy running the show? I mean, I know you're not going to get him because he's too busy going to Florida to visit his beach house and playing golf with whoever he wants to play with. And he's, doing his thing, living his life, taking everybody's money. But, with me, you get me. And I'm here from the beginning all the way to the end, and I beat them every single time, and they're like, why? How did he beat me? We do role play every day at 9 o'clock in the morning. We report to the office and do role play. I don't understand. How did Mike do it again? Well, because I'm myself, man. And I got ChatGPT to help. So this one is really for my fellow agents and entrepreneurs. The real estate world is shifting and AI is leading the charge. And this handbook is a step by step playbook for agents who want to survive and thrive using the tools of tomorrow today. And I can't wait to go to the Inman conference in Miami and pass out about 1,000 of these bad boys and let them all know that the books are free for this time period too, so everybody can download that too, and share the word with agents from across the entire country who need to learn how to use AI, which is why they're going to that conference. So really, all you got to do is go to the description of this YouTube video, click on the link to my Amazon profile, and just download the books. Even if you don't read them right away, just download them so you have them, because they're only going to be available from May 17th to May 21st. After that, they're going to go back to $9.99 a piece. So if you want free book, this is like $30 worth of free ebooks that you don't have to pay anything for, that were like given to me from the Holy Spirit and from God himself, like ideas for artificial intelligence. This is like everything you want to use it for. These are the ebooks that you want to read if you want to be relevant, 5-10 years from now, and be in the conversation. So, but I want to be clear. This is not a marketing campaign. This is not to make money and get rich and all that. It's a kingdom mission. This is a kingdom mission. And for 5 days only, the doors are going to be open. After that, they go back to normal price. So let me flood the world with truth, healing, and clarity. Share this, repost this, boost this, and let God do the rest, man. Let these books get into the right hands of the right people to change this entire planet. That's what the goal is. Have everybody shining their lights to eradicate the darkness in the world. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.